what's going on in the country.
Yeah.
We actually get sidetracked by the reason why Christmas is here.
True.
So stress zinakuwa mingi. Alafu sasa topic yetu ya leo tunaanza kufikiria sasa, unajua ukirudi nyumbani, maybe you are the mascot.
Yes.
You are the black sheep. You are the golden child. Ama wewe ni the forgotten child. And I'm the one who disconnected kitambo.
Exactly.
So now, some of us, if you are the disconnected child, unafikiria, you are feeling guilty, you are feeling all kinds of feelings, anger, sijui uende, sijui ukae. And then you have the mascot, anafikiria tu vile ataenda have fun.
Exactly.
And you see now, anaenda nyumbani. Alafu anajua kuna stress huko nyumbani. And then what does he or she do? Anaenda kurally friends. So wanaenda sherehe. Alafu wanakuja nyumbani wakati saa 9 ya usiku. Anaamsha watu. Kunakuwa na chaos. You see? So it is important for us to do to really become aware that our bodies, they do. Research has shown that our bodies do carry around the toxicity that we experienced when we were growing up. It may not be big things. There are some people, they have huge trauma issues, abuse, neglect, matusi, whatever it was in that home, rejection, open rejection, whatever it was. I want to say to people, the way that we experience the ecosystem that we grew up in, we develop coping mechanisms through our thinking and then our body, so that we can be safe. Uwezi hata madhe akifanya kitu uwezi ukam call out, because if you call her out, she will go into upsetness, na unakumbuka how it used to be.
Exactly.
Kelele for an hour, throwing things, guilt tripping, making themselves the victim, you see. So coping, these are things that are passed on from generation to generation, but they are normal human coping mechanisms to protect ourselves from the dangers of the jungle. Either the animalistic instinct. It is a jungle out here, and I have to protect myself. The good thing, God created animals the way he did, but human beings, he gave us a brain. And now, as a child, if you grew up in a home where it was chaotic, you could not predict what's going to happen. You had to develop a way of being that would protect the environment so that you can be safe. Whether that was pacifying, whether that was freezing, whether that was, there are people who tell me, Grace, I don't remember my childhood. And I usually tell them, phlegmatics by nature, they know how to compartmentalize. And myself, it wasn't until I started to sit down and begin to map out how I experienced life. That's when some memories came back, but they are not necessarily clear. Because as a phlegmatic, we know how to suppress, minimize, so that we don't feel. The choleric, on the other hand, they will remember things. They will remember and they will speak, you see. Now, if they happen to be melancholic as well, that memory is strong. And then the grudge, the way that we carry a grudge. The one person that probably really successfully will forget the past is usually the sanguine. Because the sanguine lives in the moment. And unless the memory was really emotionally triggering, both positive and negative, they may not necessarily remember. Because they tend to move in the moment. When you think about the 4 temperaments, that's how we need to understand. So if today you are listening to us and already umeanza ku overthink, to ruminate, to feel helpless, powerless, and hopeless about your family, and you look at it and you're just saying, my goodness, my family is the most dysfunctional family in the world. Probably you are a choleric melancholic.
Okay.
Because now the choleric is a goal-directed individual. There is a problem, let's fix it. If the family is not willing to face things, you get into turmoil. If you are a melancholic and you know that things are supposed to be perfect, it's black and white, there is right and wrong, we need to address the injustice, you are going to go into now the depressive states. The choleric is going to be frustrated and angry, you see, and ready for war. And then the melancholic is going to be depressed. They are the ones who will go home and the mood will change.
All right.
Because they wear their emotions on their sleeves. You see. So it is important that that we understand, first of all, understand ourselves, like we have always said, understand who you are, so that now you can be able to manage you. One of the things that I need to say here today is that the serenity prayer, you should put it somewhere on your phone, where you are reminded every day that number one, the serenity prayer helps us to separate what we can change and what we cannot. When it comes to family wounding and the triggers that happen within when we come together as a family, you do not have control over other people.
Sure.
You can't. So when you go home and you meet your mom and you meet your father and you meet your brothers and sisters, you will probably experience them unless they have transformed, and you have transformed the same way you experienced them before.
Okay.
The body remembers means once we go back to the ecosystem where we grew up, we revert to the roles we played when we were growing up.
Okay. Now, actually, now you've brought me to a level where I'm now thinking, why do childhood trauma or wounds often resurface more intensely during festive seasons?
Now, the reason why, one of the reasons why that happens is because of our expectations. You see, one of the things that we will need to do as a coping mechanism is to really be what we might call conscious. Why do we do the things that we do?
Okay.
So I need to ask myself that the reason, why do I even go home?
Right.
Why do I go home? Who set up that family tradition? You see, ask yourself that, because once we ask the question why we do certain things, then we can manage that.
Okay.
The reason why we will have all this is because we have all these things that are expected of us. But it's not me. It is the group. And you see, as Africans, we have what we call group mentality. If I don't go home, what watasema nini? You know, how come everybody's children in the neighborhood came, na wangu hawakukuja? So what we are trying to do is what we call saving the face of our family. There is nothing wrong with that. That's called family unity. But let's not pretend that we have family unity. You see? Because you see, now it's the end of the year. What happens in December is going to set the tone for January and then for the rest of the year. So I want to challenge us to ask the question, why do we do what we do?
And you've brought out a very, very important period. And talking about family, we also have family gatherings as well. All right. For example, in our family group, we have normalized meeting every December. Okay. Either from 23rd, people will start gathering. All right. And they identify homes where these particular events, whereby they cook, they meet, and they plan for the following year. But you see, pulling these people together to have one sense of direction, it is not easy.
It's not easy.
Okay. Until I was telling my cousin that alikuwa mbona uongeangi? And I told them, the moment I discovered that mnajilazimisha, I decided to mind my business. You see, why? I want to know, Grace, why do family gatherings tend to activate old wounds more than any other setting?
Number one is what we call now attachment. You know what we say, blood is thicker than water. So attachment is where we feel that we belong. So when we come into the world, you know how excited we get when you figure out you have new cousins you didn't know about, relatives you didn't know about. Because we are humans who crave for connections. Then we are created that way. You know, even when you look at the creation story, let us.
Yes.
God made us in his image, and he exists within a community. And so now, being made in the image of God, then we crave for community. And so what happens is that our first community is me and my mother. That's my first community, because we bond during the time when the baby is in the womb. That baby comes into the world and meets the dad. And when they meet the dad represents the rest of the world. This attachment, so what happens with mom, the baby is already, it doesn't need to wonder whether they belong or not, because they already do. That's natural. When it comes to dad represents how the world is, because he is from the outside. He's meeting, when the baby comes out of the womb, meets dad, and belonging begins to form. So when you look at a baby, I have said this here before, when the dad picks the baby, first of all, lies on the chest. Why? The baby is used to mom's heartbeat. This is my own, this is not scientific. This is my own, the way that I have seen life happening in my experience in my work. The baby is looking for the heartbeat of dad, because the baby already knows the heartbeat of mom. The baby is looking into the eyes of dad, touches the face, studies the face of the dad. Because you see, when the baby and the mother, the moment the baby is born and they open their eyes and mom is there, what is mom doing? Admiring the baby. Mom is smiling at the baby. So when dad is around, that's why you meet a kid, a baby, and they look at you. If you smile at them, what do? They smile back. Because babies are made to imitate, to mirror whatever they see with adults. So the belonging that this baby is looking for from dad is going to start forming. If that belonging is not healthy, that's the way that child will go into the world. They will go into the world believing that people are not safe within the world. Now, this is the thing that people say, how can I expect other people to love me if my own dad or mom didn't love me? You see? So it is important for us to understand the reason why your family of origin and your relatives trigger the most pain in you is because of that initial need, and that initial need for belonging. And so when you belonged with them, it doesn't always mean it was healthy. And so when you come around them now as an adult, you are reminded how you experienced them. And that is why it becomes so difficult. Now, so those are, we can go into trauma bonds, where now you trauma bond with your mother because your father was an alcoholic and mom was constantly stressed. So you kids had to protect mom emotionally. So your relationship with mom is very protective, and therefore it's a trauma bond, because you cannot be yourself. Because you be yourself and then you trigger her. But you learned, even now when you are grown up and you are healing and you want to reach out to mom and say, Mom, this is the way I experienced you when we were growing up. And mom goes into, oh, I did the best I could. You people, you don't even understand. Amjui vile baba yenyu alikuwa. Now when that happens, again, what do you do as an adult? You come and you begin to protect mom. So you have to suppress your truth, your experience, so that mom doesn't go into disruption or dysregulation of emotion. Because once she does, then you are not safe anymore. And so we go through grief. Grieving the mother we wish we had. Grieving the father we wish we had. Now, there are people I have worked with, and what has happened, their father, who was probably irresponsible, very harsh, and even a drunkard, whatever he was, somehow they find their healing And when they children come home, they find their father expressing, children, I want to say something. And he expresses regret. And he expresses, now we come to the apology language.
Yeah.
And where dad actually says, I was wrong. Remember? Expressing regret.
Yeah.
I was wrong. And therefore, I am sorry. I wish I could take back. That is very healing.
Okay.
Most parents cannot bring themselves to do that.
Exactly.
Because they haven't healed their own trauma. Because if you look to their generation that raised them and the generation before them, there was that perpetuation of family dysfunction.
Exactly.
You see, so now one of the children in the home, probably the one who carries the anxiety of the home, who we call the black sheep, is the one who will follow the footsteps of the dysfunction of the family. And now what is going to happen is that even that person who has been impacted by the dysfunction of the family in a very deep way, and they haven't been able to overcome it, what happens is that they are going to have very difficult relationships. They have low self-esteem, low self-worth. They can't take accountability for their actions. They become dysfunctional themselves, and they actually live out the life of one of the parents. You see?
Yeah.
So now the parents, you may have maybe now I go into mental health. Narcissism is the selfish personality disorder that either I want accolades a lot. I want people to kind of see I'm a great person. So I use people for my own. So even when I say I love people, I love them because of what they make me feel.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because you are you. And then, so that is narcissism, very egocentric, self-centered. And then we have another one, which is also egocentric and self-centered, and it's called borderline personality disorder. And these are the people who look like they have bipolar. So when they are impacted by emotions, they reject people, but then blame them for not being there.
Yeah.
Go away, come here, I need you, go away. You see?
Yeah.
So it is very, very volatile relationship, and where there is a lot of confusion, and then we have another personality disorder that is called histrionic. And histrionic disorder, personality disorder, is where a person uses their sexual prowess. You know, maybe they are very beautiful, they are very handsome, they have this beautiful body. They use it to flaunt their, they want people to admire them for that. Usually, if you develop a histrionic personality disorder, you are constantly looking for people to worship your body.
Right.
So you use your beauty, you use your attractiveness, and the smoothness of your romantic language. You buy people, or you buy gifts, and then it's almost like it's the same as narcissism, but then it's very body kind of the what do we call it? The Bible calls it the lust of the flesh. Yeah, so we need, and then of course we have another one that is called dependent personality disorder, is where people make themselves helpless. So they never work hard. They need other people all the time. If they are very, very dependent on others. They can't make decisions by themselves. They need somebody to hold their hands. Almost like a child that never grows up. And then we have antisocial. Now, antisocial personality disorder can grow into now what we call psychopaths.
Okay.
You see, so all these personality disorders, they are mental health issues that were triggered by the ecosystem we grew up in. Think about the child who was an orphan. And then they were rejected by the uncles, the aunties, and they were used as manual laborers. And then because God created them with a very sharp mind, this child, amidst all the pain of growing up, they actually excelled. They became the best in their primary school. They became the best in high school. They went to university. They became business people. They really made a life for themselves. But the attachment, the bonding was broken. So what do? They use their money to buy love. And when they do all that, and then the person rejects them, the person shows like they would abandon them, they become very agitated. And to the point where we have seen fatal love, where a person will kill another, maim another, because they have decided the relationship is not working. You see, young men who, because they have been blessed through their hard work to be able to make money, and they find a beautiful girl that they know they don't deserve. They tell themselves, I don't deserve her. So what do? They pick her up, they clean her up, they take her to college, and maybe she's a 21-year-old. They do all kinds of things. By the time that girl is 25, the gift that she gets for graduation is a car. So if at 26 she decides, I don't want this life, this is not the man I choose, what is going to happen? You see what I'm saying? And so there is a need for us to understand that the ecosystem we grew up in impacts the personality that we eventually develop. It impacts how we see ourselves within the community. It impacts our self-worth and our self-esteem and the value that we are, you see. So that now the healing process is going to be important to start with self. Relationships are not going to be healthy until you have a healthy relationship with yourself. We see that most of the time I hear narcissistic abuse in homes where they say, my parent, whether it's mom or dad, they are very good to everyone. But when it comes to us, they are not that good. They are not generous. They are not kind. They are not considerate and compassionate. They are not empathetic. So the challenge of these children who are experiencing their parents that way is the confusion. So why do you withhold that from us, but you can give it to other people? And then when these children begin to say, I can't stand that, to create boundaries, the parents go into now attack. The guilt tripping, the threatening, the humiliating, the withholding. Plus now we also have the child, the golden child who's coming home. And amekuja na Prado. Hawa wengine wamekuja na matatu. Wengine wako na kanini Toyota Corolla.
Umejikaza hapo na kasukari, umejaza kila kitu.
Huyu mwingine amekuja ama amekuja hata na ndege. Amekuja amedropiwa na taxi ingine ya moto hapo. You see? So when parents see that successful child becomes like a mirror for them. This is who we are. And then, so you see the favoritism. I have heard people say, my mother is usually connected, happy, and she will show you goodness depending on the money that you carry in your pocket. You see? So it is important for us to understand that there are many things, mental health-wise, psychological and emotional, that are going to be triggered when we go home. Because you remember those things. You remember how you used to be told, mbona wewe ni kichwa ngumu, kichwa maji, kichwa and your brother and your sister. Or even the child who was the lost child, nobody paid attention to them until they got an A. An A in high school, and they got wakaenda, they got, what is it called, first honors, and suddenly the family saw them. These things, they impact our mental and psychological health, and therefore our relationships. Because it's your mental and psychological health is how you think, how you feel about yourself, and about how others feel about yourself. You see, very, very important.
Well explained. And the most important thing you've said here, it starts with self. Self. And one sure thing, Grace, about this season is we are going to have many people, or we are having very many people who will feel guilty for not enjoying the festive season, right? Because of all these things. So how can these kind of people begin identifying their personal triggers without self-judgment?
Right. Now, I want to give you a hack. We have, today is the 17th.
Yes, 17th.
So we have about, about 6 or so days before. So I want you to pay attention to yourself. Think about, if your family is the kind of family that gets together, think about each one of your siblings. Start with dad, start with mom, and then sibling, each one of them. And really allow yourself to think how you feel about them, your relationship with them, and then how you think they see you.
All right.
Do they judge you, criticize you? When you were growing up, how did they treat you? Were they condescending? Were they supportive? What was it? What I normally say, allow yourself to think about, be realistic. This is not disloyalty. This is you coming into the consciousness of things. Because there are many of us in our families, we learned to dissociate. So we are not consciously there.
Yeah.
We just, actually, when we are triggered, we just go into automatic reactions, whether it is running away, freezing, or aggressive, or even passive aggressive. So allow yourself to ask the question of how each family member impacted you, both positively and negatively. What did they do well? How did you feel they supported you? Plus, what did they do or say or act that caused you to feel rejected, abandoned, hurt, lost? You lost it's the word betrayal. When you see, like now you are the presenter of this program, you invited me here. So I have a certain expectation of how you are going to treat me. If you don't treat me the way I expect, because of the relationship we have, I am going to feel betrayed. And that betrayal can turn into hurt. Hurt turns into anger, feelings of anger, and anger becomes resentment and bitterness. And then when we get to bitterness, there are coping mechanisms that we are going to put in place to protect ourselves, and they can go now into the mental health space. So the I forget what the question was.
The question was how these people
so allow yourself to look at each one of them. Number 2, please allow yourself to do the serenity prayer. Things I can control and things I can't. And I can tell you right now, if you're listening to us, the only thing you can control is how you deal with the triggers.
Exactly.
So allow yourself, instead of saying, oh gosh, it's going to be hard, remember, every time you tell yourself a negative statement, you are going to create a release in your brain of a chemical called cortisol and other stress chemicals. And then adrenaline. What does adrenaline do for us? It gives us energy to protect ourselves. So what is going to happen? Your body is going to go into alert mode, hypervigilance. And then now you can't sleep because the body is not relaxing. Now I want you to ask yourself, growing up, did I used to feel this at certain points in my life? And then identify, when would that be? And it is very, very, very freeing to be able to map out where those feelings are coming from. Once you do that, what you want to ask yourself is, what can I do to reduce the release of adrenaline and cortisol into my system? One of the ways that we can do that is to live in the present moment in this way. That I need to pay attention to what my brain is telling me about my visit with my family. I was listening to, there is a guy called, he's an old guy, he's really good, and he's called, I like to listen to his podcast, he's called Eckhart. I don't remember his first name. And he said today, one of the reels I was listening to, he said, what we feed our mind is what goes into our system and either brings toxicity, awakens toxicity, or it's going to feed positivity. Positivity is not positive thinking. It's actually healthy thinking. So if I say, oh, it's going to be so hard, the brain releases hormones that are going to put you in protective mode. So you can't relax.
Yeah.
But if you say, I know it's going to be difficult, however, I have my tools for staying regulated. So what is that? Think about your home. Is there a creek? Is there greenery? Is there a garden? What can you do while you are there to consistently awaken the good feelings within you? Don't go home and sit in the house and sit in the bedroom.
Okay.
Avoiding people is just going to make things worse. Withdrawal, isolation we were not meant for that. It triggers again the adrenaline and the stress hormones. But you can go if you are home. I'm from Nakuru. There was this one time I said, you know what? I'm going to take our boys to go and see where I went to school, primary school. Tulienda huko chini, and I went and I found, kumbe they even built a secondary school. So it was a nice drive around where I grew up.
Yeah.
We went even to the church where I used to go, and I found I can't even recognize the place because it has grown so much. You see, allow yourself to do things while you are at home, to do things that will trigger good feelings. That's your choice. You have a choice to do that. Now, I have been thinking every time I go home, my mother tells me, oh, you remember your Sunday school teacher? She asks about you. So I have been thinking, I am going to tell my mom, on 26, let's go and visit her. Let's go and because this was a person who added value to my life. Let's go and see her. I take her a little bit of Christmas present and just have, that is adding value, not only to myself, but even to that lady. So allow yourself not to just think that I have to go home and I have to cook and I have to do this. No, create a plan.
Okay.
Create a plan. Show your kids. Go out there. Let your kids also have an experience of that neighborhood, how it was. Now, if it is, you know how you go home and your mom says something and it triggers you. Learn to use humor.
All right.
So she comes and says, haya, sasa hiyo nguo ndio ulinunulia watoto. Don't go into crisis. You have a choice to hear it, feel it, but then act differently than what you have done before. You ask yourself, because whenever these triggers happen, this is the way I have acted. Now, the other thing I want to say. So, first, tell your mind, it's not hard, it's just difficult. Because when we say difficult, then it means that I can actually do something about it. So, create a plan of how you're going to spend that time. The other thing I want to say, people, we go home and then we go on maybe on 24th or whatever day that you go, and then you stay for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Please don't. Reduce contact.
Thank you.
Allow yourself to go. Enjoy being with those people. Now, from what I have seen with research and how the body is going to react, the first 2 days are okay. It's like the honeymoon.
Yeah.
Please leave after the 2 days.
Okay.
If your family is really dysfunctional, stay there for 2 days and leave.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to come back to Nairobi, allow yourself to find a place and go, maybe have a night in a hotel or whatever it is. Yeah. But don't allow your body to revert. So that's what I'm saying. First of all, prepare your body to know that it's going to be okay. Because remember, adrenaline is telling you it is not safe. But the truth is, it is safe because hakuna mtu atakuchapa.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to, they will use words, yes, but those are words. So you may need to tell your body, those are just words that used to hurt me, but now I'm beyond that. I am not that which they used to tell me I am. You see? And allow yourself to really understand. This time, don't go and just be in survival mode. Feel and lean into your feelings. Don't run away from them. Don't blame people for how you feel. Acknowledge they have triggered you, but it is your responsibility to take care of yourself. Now, the people who feel guilty that they didn't go home, again, ask yourself, what did you do wrong? According to who? Who told you that is wrong? So these are what we call expectations, unspoken expectations that normally we say, because we used to hear these things, we say even today, they are not going to understand me. And then probably they won't. But if it is your choice to not go home, enjoy the choice. Don't judge yourself, because now you are sitting, you didn't, afadhali hata ungeenda tu nyumbani.
Exactly.
Ndio hizo vitu zenye unafikiria wanafikiria. Zikuwe real. And now you can say, enyewe, there is real danger. But if you have chosen, most of the times, I want to say this, Bramwel, is that we adopted the voices of our family of origin, and we are not aware that we are repeating the same messages to ourselves. Shame on you. You are not home. Upendi watu wenyu. All that. Shift that. If you are not able to shift it, please look for me, because we have been doing the class CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Look for me. I'll do some more classes during the new year, so that you can learn how to take captive the thoughts that come. I was thinking about, Jesus said, I am the truth, the way, and the life. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Now, taking captive the negative thoughts, because it says in the Word of God that take captive every thought that goes against the truth. You see? So any thought that you have that is not, especially if you are a believer and you are a person who follows Christ, you need to hear that taking captive every thought that does not go according to the will of Christ. So you kind of, in the 90s where WWJD, what would Jesus do? Let's go back to that.
All right.
What does Jesus say about here? The Bible says that you live at peace with everybody as long as it depends on you. Why? Yes. What is he saying? Serenity prayer. What you can control versus what you can't control. And the courage to do what you can. And this is what I'm saying. Take responsibility for your own emotions that are triggered by those people.
Wow.
You see? And then, of course, now we have to talk about radical acceptance, where you accept it is what it is. Ride the wave. Don't drown under the wave. Ride the wave. Try not judging people. And judging yourself. Stay away from that. Feel the feelings, think the thoughts, and shift. Nobody is who is the judge? Who is the prosecutor? Nobody. It is in your mind. And I'm not saying that it is not real. I'm saying it is something that is happening in your mind. And that is why now when we have these personality disorders, those personality disorders come about because we think about something over and over again, and it becomes our reality.
Wow.
You see?
Yes.
So, and then it becomes our character, because the way we think triggers emotion, and those emotions, they trigger a mood that guides our action. So if I am moody in terms of sadness, what am I going to act like? Isolation. If I am angry and then I feel sorrow, what am I going to act? I am going to be spewing a lot of things to hurt other people because I feel hurt. And that is what I'm saying, that if you take time to really regroup, so allow yourself to really see, how does everybody trigger me? And then also ask yourself, how do your thoughts trigger you?
Exactly. Well said. Wow, Grace. Before we wind up, the Leah says, apart from understanding myself, I think it is also good to try and understand or accept the motivations of other family members, even if we can't control them. Yes,
it is, and that is what emotional intelligence is all about. Is understanding self, understanding others, and then self-regulating. You see? So if I take care of myself, for instance, if my mother says those things that I think are triggering me, I don't have to take them to heart.
Yeah.
I can understand where she's coming from. If my mother is unable to really see that that she favors other children and others she puts away, I don't need to go with her truth. I can separate. That's her, but it doesn't mean anything about me.
Yeah.
You see, it doesn't mean I'm rejected. My mother's love is not unconditional. The only love that we know is unconditional is God's. Now, what happens if we do not resolve our own dissonance and our own confusion about belonging and about love, we will project that on God, which is the God, you know, nothing, you never answer my prayers and all that. We miss out on the relationship part.
Yeah.
So that now our relationship with God, our relationship with ourselves is very conditional. So when I am doing well, I don't judge myself. When I do bad, I judge myself so badly, and shame and humiliation comes in there, and I cannot take care of me. You see.
Well said, Grace. Wow. Today, Grace, is our last session in 2025.
Yes.
Kindly, I'll give you an opportunity to wish our listeners a Merry Christmas and also the blessings for next year.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to say to us that the festive season is a new beginning.
Yeah.
Jesus is born again. We are commemorating his birth, and we need to understand that he came to give us life and give it to us more abundantly. But he also came to show us how to live. And therefore, even as we go home and we are triggered by families and our body goes into crisis, let us ask Jesus to teach us to, you know, Jesus was from a dysfunctional family as well. That he teaches us the meekness, the calmness, the peace that he experienced in the midst of everything. I want to wish everybody peace, and I want to wish you not just peace in terms of the absence of battles. I want to wish you peace within your heart, that you know that your Heavenly Father, regardless of how you have been treated at home, your Heavenly Father loves you. In fact, I want to tell people, look for the poem, The Footprints, and allow yourself, whenever you complain to your Heavenly Father, that you allow yourself to understand that in the most difficult times when your family rejected you and treated you badly, it is God who carried you. Your Heavenly Father. Psalms 27:10, when my father and my mother forsake me, then you, O Lord, will take care of me. So allow that. David is the one who said that. Unajua siku ile alikuwa anatafutwa akuwe anointed. Wazazi wake walisahau wanakuanga na mtoto mwingine.
Imagine.
But God had already known David. He had a plan, and you see, David's dysfunction in his social life came from huko nyumbani huko kwenye walikuwa wanamwambia, even when he went and he fought Goliath, what did they tell him? You are too small, what are you doing here? You are arrogant, you are whatever. But God had already so one of the things that I want to wish each one of us is, may you know your relationship with God, that he has a plan for you, and it is about relationship, it is not about transaction. Find that peace. That's what I pray. That when we say, let Jesus be born in your heart, that's what I pray for you.
Wow.
And 2026 tukutane tena, tuendelee kujengana.
Yes. And in the process we change the nation. We fix the nation.
Yes.
Every conversation at a time.
Yes.
Grace, I like what you say, but tutaongea nyuma ya tent.
Sawa.
Thank you so much for coming.
You are so welcome.
Yes, I know you'll be traveling.
Yes.
Like it tutaongea, but let me just say it. I wish you a Merry Christmas as well, and safe travels, all right?
Asante.
But we have a lot to do behind the scenes kabla hii mwaka ishe. All right, my dear listener, thank you so much for your company. Let's do this again tomorrow, God willing. To have a productive Wednesday.
Waumini. Radio Waumini 88.3 FM.